So welcome you all for the Gola online classes. We have completed the chapter concepts electromagnetic induction. So what are the regarding the electromagnetic induction? The theory part we have completely discussed. Now today we'll discuss the numericals NCERT exercise questions. Which questions? NCERT exercise questions. Or exercise numericals. Before starting this NCERT exercise numericals, so first we'll see together what are the 5 marks questions we got in this chapter and what are the 3 marks questions we got in this chapter. So total 5 marks questions till now we obtained and total 3 marks questions till now we obtained. Okay, Nara? So there is only one 5 marks question, that is describe yesterday class. Describe construction and the working of AC generator. Only one question which can be asked for 5 marks. But there are many number of 3 marks questions are there. So that is which one? First question is Faraday experiments. Which are Faraday experiments? So either may be coil and coil experiment, coil experiment, or so coil and magnet experiment. Anyone can be asked. And one more question we got here is Faraday laws of electromagnetic induction. Then the one more question we got here is so expression for motional EMF. So one more 3 marks question we got here is in this part. So after expression for motional EMF, 4th question I will write here. So that is so define or derive expression for self-inductance of a long solenoid. Okay, Nara? The next one is same expression for mutual inductance of two long coaxial solenoids. Okay, Nara? The next question, last one is expression for energy stored in a coil. Expression for energy stored in a coil. So these are the total 3 marks questions. Even 1 mark, 2 marks can be asked. Mutual induction definition, self-induction definition, that can be asked either for 1 mark, 2 marks, or definition, units or dimensional formula can be asked for 3 marks. Okay, na? So these are the total 5 marks and 3 marks questions of the chapter electromagnetic induction. Are you getting Ara? Now, so we'll continue the numericals of this electromagnetic induction. So out of these numericals, there are in this exercise questions, there are only 10 questions are there. Out of the 10 questions, first 2 questions are, so they are asking multiple choice questions. that questions are based on Faraday laws of electromagnetic induction. And what are the formulas? So we got in this chapter till now formulas for doing numericals, the required formulas are. So first one is we got Faraday, according to which law? According to Faraday's second law. So very important one this is. So Faraday's second law. So E value given by minus d phi by dt. First formula. The second formula, the formula for the flux is the dot product of B bar dot A bar, which can be also written as flux is equal to B into A into cos theta. If there are n number of turns are there, n into B into, so A into cos theta. So this is the formula for calculating which one? Flux. Then the third formula is, so expression for motional EMF. Motional EMF. This motional EMF given by E is equal to B into L into V. When both L and V are perpendicular, this is the formula. So which can be also written as, so E is equal to B bar dot L bar cross V bar. In vector form we can write the cross product of two vectors is a vector. If that vector dot product with B bar, so that will give you a scalar. So this is the expression for which one? Motional EMF. Even this motional EMF can be also written as, so which is equal to L bar dot, so B bar cross V bar. Even this formula can be also written as, so B bar cross L bar dot V bar. But remember, out of these three, for example, if L and V are perpendicular, so what is the meaning? What is here is, so if B and L and V are coplanar vectors which are in the same plane, so this is vector triple product, so that answer will be equal to 0, which is E is equal to B bar dot L bar cross V bar. The resultant of, if B bar, L bar, V bar are coplanar which are in the same plane, then the cross product of L bar and V bar perpendicular to B bar. So that's why the dot product will become 0. Okay, Nara? So that is important formula for motional EMF. After that, still what we get? And we'll get the formula for the self-induction and mutual induction. Phi is equal to L into I and L is equal to phi divided by I. This self-induction can be also calculated. E is equal to L into di divided by dt, or L value is equal to E divided by di by dt. So after this we got the formula for, so these are the formula for self-induction. Similarly, I can write the formula for mutual induction. Mutual induction, flux value directly proportional to current, so that is I2. So phi value is equal to M12 into I2. From this, M12 will be equal to, so phi 1 divided by I2. This mutual induction can be also calculated. E is equal to M into di by dt. Otherwise, M value E divided by di by dt. This is the formula to calculate the mutual induction. So expression for mutual inductance of, so coaxial, this is, so till now we have written, can write the remaining here. So expression for mutual inductance of which one? Solenoid. For a solenoid, so sixth one for solenoid, for a longer solenoid, so expression for L given by mu naught into, so n square into pi into r square into L. So next one is for two long coaxial solenoids, two longer coaxial solenoids, the mutual induction given by mu naught into n1 into n2 into pi into r square into L. So that is for two long coaxial solenoids. So last one is, so what is AC? Instantaneous AC EMF. instantaneous alternating EMF, that is in AC generator. So we got E value is equal to E naught into cos omega t. Okay, Nara? Not cos here, we'll get sin omega t. This is called as instantaneous value of alternating current. So after completing instantaneous value here, so what is E naught? The peak value of alternating voltage peak value. So that is given by E naught is equal to N into B into A into omega. And one more formula I forgot. So if induced EMF E is equal to d phi by dt, the modulus value, then the induced current value given by E divided by R, which is 1 by R into d phi by dt, and the induced charge Q value given by 1 by R into d phi. Even this formula is also important. And in this chapter, for calculating direction, we can use either Lenz law, or we can use either Fleming's right hand rule. Yesterday right hand rule we discussed now. So according to right hand rule, forefinger is indicating the direction of the magnetic field, thumb is indicating the direction of the motion of the conductor, then the central finger is indicating the direction of the induced current. Okay, Nara? So you should have clarity regarding the direction. Okay, in while solving the numericals, so these formulas we will use. And here one important note I will tell, which we will use. So in these problems only, in problems we will use one formula. So what is that formula is, one note you can make. For example, let me consider one rod. This rod is rotating in external uniform magnetic field which is perpendicular to the plane and passing into. So whenever this rod is started rotating either clockwise or anti-clockwise with an angular velocity omega, the rod is rotating such that about an axis passing through its passing through one end and perpendicular to its length. So after some time the rod reached to here. Clear, Dara? Now what happened? Because of the rotation of the rod, so let me consider the length of the rod is given by L. When rod started rotating, so it will swept some area. So area related with the, because of the rotation of the rod, the magnetic flux linked with the rod is going to be changes. We know that whenever a conductor moving in external magnetic field, so then what happen? An induced EMF will develop. Now rod rotated through an angle theta, so now it is looking like a arc. So okay, Nara, the theta value given by, can I call the distance travelled from this is P and this is P dash. So theta value P dash divided by, so arc when is making an angle theta, so theta value is equal to length of the arc divided by which one? Radius. P dash divided by, so radius value R, but here R value P dash by, so R value will be L. So what is the radius of that arc? That is the length of the rod. So P dash value, okay, Nara? So this is theta is equal to P into P dash divided by L. Can I write? Now I want to calculate induced EMF developed in a rod. Induced EMF, magnitude of induced EMF can be calculated by using Faraday law, which is d phi by dt. So E value given by d by dt of phi value, can I write B bar dot A bar? B bar is magnetic field induction and A bar is the area vector. Since magnetic field is perpendicular to plane, so B bar and A bar both are parallel or perpendicular, both are parallel, then what I will get? E value is equal to d by dt of B into A into cos 0. theta value will be 0. Then E value, so can I write d by dt of B into E? Here B is uniform, not changing. So area swept by the rod is continuously changes. So E value is equal to B into dA divided by dt. Clear Dara? Then E value, so is equal to here B. So what can I able to write? Area swept by the rod. Area swept by the rod, can I write A divided by T? So now area, you see, if I call this is O, this is P, P dash. So now rod is sweeping one triangle. So area of the triangle given by, so B into triangle area half into base into height. So what is the base value? P, P dash into height value. So height value nothing but a radius only na, which is L, divided by how much? T. Then what I will get? E value given by, so E value B by 2, or can I write 1 by 2 into B into which one? P, P dash value can be written as theta into L by T. So can I write which is equal to E value is equal to 1 by 2 into B, theta by T will be equal to omega into L square. Are you getting Ara? Whenever a rod rotating with an angular velocity omega in a uniform magnetic field of induction B bar, the rod length is L. The induced EMF developed in the rod will be given by what? E is equal to B into omega into L square. So this is the formula for, so which one? When? Important point, because based on this a numerical is there. So if you can remember that formula, the numerical can be solved directly. Okay, Nara? So next point is, here what is the point? When a rod of length L, how much length? L, rotating in where? In external uniform magnetic field. In external uniform magnetic field, so how can we calculate the induced EMF is given by, so magnetic field, then the induced EMF developed across the rod. How much induced EMF will develop across the rod? So that is given by this E value is equal to B into 1 by 2 into B into, so omega into which one? L square. Omega into, so L square. Clear Ara? So are you getting Ara? This is expression for, so induced EMF. Can I write this expression here? E value 1 by 2 into B into omega into L square. Derivation not necessary for you, but I derive this. Similarly, instead of the rod, if they given, so I will make one note, one more note. So this is note number 1 and this is note number 2. In this note, if a circular disc of radius, small r is rotating in uniform magnetic field, with a constant angular velocity, omega, then the induced EMF develop, how much induced EMF will be developed is given by the formula 1 by 2 into B into omega into R square. So what is the difference between a rod and a circular disc? In case of rod, the induced EMF value will be given by E is equal to 1 by 2 into B into omega into L square. Whereas in case of which one, circular disc, the value of E given by, so 1 by 2 into B into omega into R square. And one more important point while solving the questions of this, it is also necessary so to mention the direction of induced EMF or induced current. Okay, Nara? Now you see, if the rod is rotating in anti-clockwise direction, so direction of the magnetic field will be represented by the forefinger, right hand rule, na? Fleming's right hand rule. So direction of the magnetic field will be represented by, so forefinger. And the direction of the motion of the conductor will be represented by thumb. So conductor was moving vertically upwards. Then what is the direction of the central finger? Central finger direction from where to where? P to O na, O to P na. So induced current direction from P to O. Induced current direction from P to O. Current. Now if I consider this is P and this is O. So whenever rod is rotating in anti-clockwise direction, so current direction will be from where to where? From P to O. But remember, current is because of which one? Flow current. So though current is because of the flow of electrons, but the direction of the conventional current will be in a direction opposite to the flow of electrons. So in this rod, current is flowing from P to O. So though current is going from P to O, electrons are flowing from where to where? O to P. What is the direction of electrons? Electrons will move in a direction opposite to the current. So O to P. So when electrons will go to from O to P means O will be at a negative potential and P at a positive potential. In questions they will ask, what is the direction of the induced current and which end will be at high potential and which end will be at a low potential. So current direction from P to O, though current direction from P to O, electrons will flow from O to B. Electrons are negatively charged particles. So due to that reason what happens? So they going from O to P, P is at a high potential compared with where O. Similarly, you can also tell the direction in case of circular disc. Now the circular disc is rotating in external uniform magnetic field. So when circular disc is rotating in external uniform magnetic field, either clockwise or anti-clockwise, or you consider one wheel, a cycle wheel will be there. So that cycle wheel with a number of spokes will be there. Now it started rotating with a uniform angular velocity omega. So I want to know, so where positive charges are deposited and where negative charges are deposited. So direction given by Fleming's right hand rule. This is the direction of which one? So okay, can you able to see now that side? So which direction is there? So I will write this point here. See, in a uniform magnetic field of induction B bar, so what happened? A circular disc was rotating or a wheel is rotating. So you can consider a wheel or a ring or a circular disc. So okay, this wheel with the number of spokes are there. Spokes means you know that na, like in wheel. So what sticks will be there na? In you take the example of a cycle tire, with the number of sticks will be there in a wheel. Now what happened? This wheel is rotating with an angular velocity omega. I want to know which end will be at positive, which end will be at negative. So if there are many number of spokes are there, all are connected in parallel. All first ends are connected to center, second ends are connected to rim. So all are connected in parallel. Due to that reason, the induced EMF developed across each spoke will be same. That is independent of the number of spokes, which is given by E value 1 by 2 into B into omega into R square. Are you getting Aram? 1 by 2 into B into omega into R square. Now I want to know what is the direction of that induced current and which, so if I consider one spoke, which end will be at positive, which end will be negative. So direction can be calculated by using Fleming's right hand rule. This is the direction of the magnetic field and this is the direction of the motion of the conductor. wheel. Then so central finger is showing from rim to center. Central finger showing from rim to center. If I call one point on the rim is P dash, center is O. So if I consider one spoke, this is P dash and this is O. What is the direction of the induced current? Induced current from where to where? P dash to O. But electrons will move in a direction opposite to the induced current. So electrons will go from O to P dash. So P dash at which end? Positive. O at which end? Negative. Polarities are important. In NCERT problems when you are doing, so you will come to know. Therein we'll see which end will be at a high potential, which end will be at a low potential. Are you getting Aram? So these formulas are very important for doing numericals. When I do the numerical based on this rod, I will write this formula directly. This is not required for subjective point of view, only for solving that numerical. I told this. So last one point, calculation of the self-induction and mutual induction. So self-induction, mutual induction calculations are very, very important. We have calculated the self-inductance of solenoid and also the self-inductance of two long coaxial solenoids. So this is point number 3. Can you remember for two long coaxial solenoids, if there are two solenoids are there. So once I will make recall how we calculated the mutual inductance of two long coaxial solenoids. So one coil is called as primary, other coil is called as secondary. Then if the secondary coil is S2, primary coil is S1, S2 carrying a current I2 and S2 having a total number of turns N2, S2 having number of turns per unit length is small n2 and radius of S2 will be given by which one? The radius value given by R2. Once I will tell how we will calculate the magnetic field induction for two long coaxial solenoids. First we calculated the total flux linked with the first coil S1. Total flux is the dot product of which one? So magnetic field because of S2 B2 bar dot A2 bar. Correct? Then we return N1 into phi1 value. So N1 value I return small n1 into L. Both are of same length. Why I am telling once again means by using this method, now I will calculate if there are two circular coils are there. So which are concentric circular coils are there. I want to calculate the mutual induction. So okay, then N1 into phi1 value N into L, and you need to remember. So magnetic field due to a solenoid. Magnetic field expression for magnetic field due to which one? Due to solenoid. Due to a solenoid inside, if I consider solenoid, if so length of the solenoid is very, very greater than the radius, the value of B given by mu naught into N into I. Remember, when a solenoid having the number of turns per unit length value is N, when that solenoid is carrying a current I, then what we will get? So expression for B given by mu naught into N into I. Then we substituted the value N1 into phi1 value is equal to N1 into, can I write here only, B2 value mu naught into, here I can write N1. So mu naught into which one carrying the current here? N1 into phi1 value. So will be given by, this is mutual induction. Here I have to write because of B2 means mu naught into N2 into I2. So mu naught into N2 into A2. This is area linked with the first coil A1 into I2. Then we'll write the finally N1 into phi1 value will be equal to mu naught into N1 into N2 into pi into R square or R1 square into L into I2. We called it as equation 1. Second time, so total flux can be calculated according to which one? N1 into phi1 value will be equal to which one? So will be equal to M12 into I2. The total flux linked with the first coil S1 directly proportional to the current passing through the secondary coil. So this we called is as equation 2. By comparing equation 1 and 2, we have written M12 value mu naught into N1 into N2 into pi into r square into L. This is the expression how we calculated the mutual induction. Once first what we did, we calculated the total flux by using which method? By the definition of the flux. Then we calculated the total flux by the definition of which one? Mutual induction. Then equating both. Then we calculated this method. So how we calculated the magnetic field induction or the coefficient of mutual inductance of two long coaxial solenoids. If L value greater than R, then only B2 is uniform. B2 is uniform. Otherwise B2 is not uniform. Okay, Nara? Now what is this note number 3? Last point. So what I want to calculate is two concentric circular coils are there. Two concentric coils are there. So one coil and this is another coil. The first coil radius value is R1. The second coil radius value is R2. The first coil is carrying a current, let me call I1. The second coil is carrying a current I2. I want to calculate the mutual induction of these concentric circular coils. Concentric circular coils. So let me call this is one circular loop. Two circular loops are there. First, if I want to calculate the total flux linked with which one? With can I call the first loop name is some S1, outer loop name is S2 with S1. The total flux is given by, so if total number of turns are N1, so N1 into phi1 will be equal to, if here there are no number of turns, only one loop, single loop is there. So if I call the total number of turns N1 is equal to 1, N2 also equal to 1, small n1 value, so number of turns per unit length, that is N1 is 1. So into what I will get? 1 into, so B2 bar dot A1 bar. Flux is the dot product of magnetic field induction due to the S2 and area of S1, which is B2 and A both are parallel. So I will get B2 into E1. What is B2? So magnetic field due to which one? Magnetic field due to circular coil. Due to which coil? Due to circular coil. Circular coil at where? At the center. At the center. Last time we considered solenoid. Now we are considering the circular coil. So what I will get? B2. B2 value given by, so what is the formula? B is equal to, so mu naught into I2 divided by which one? 2 into, so R2. Correct, Ara? Circular coil in moving charges and magnetism. So whenever an arc is making an angle theta at the center, so magnetic field is given by mu naught into I divided by 4 pi r into theta. For complete circle, for one complete circle, so theta value will be equal to 2 pi r. Then I will get B value given by mu naught into I divided by 2 into R. Or otherwise you can also write magnetic field due to circular current carrying coil at the center formula. So mu naught into I divided by 2 into R2. So B value mu naught into I2 divided by 2 into R2 into A1 value pi into R1 square. Which one? Pi into R1 square. So okay, Nara? So mu naught into I2 into pi into R1 square divided by which one? So 2 into R2. Okay. So then finally here no terms will be cancelled. This I calculated according to flux definition. According to the mutual induction, so what is the total flux linked with the primary coil? N1 into phi1 value, N1 value 1. So total flux is the mutual inductance of first coil with respect to the second coil and current passing through the second coil, I2. So this is equation 1, this is equation 2. So this is the value of which one? N1 into phi1. That is the value of N1 into phi1. By comparing these both, so what will get M12 value? So mu naught into pi into R1 square divided by, so 2 into which one? R2. This is the expression for mutual inductance. Understood, Ara? So expression for mutual inductance of two coaxial circular coils or two concentric circular coils, 2 into R2. Understood, Ara? So this is for circular coil. So like this, whatever the shape they given, either they may ask square coil or they may ask a rectangular coil. Every time you should come to know how to calculate the magnetic field induction. Okay, Nara? Square coil or rectangular coil, that you will get it in objective part. In subjective you will not get, but in subjective, in NCERT on examples they given this problem. So that's why I have discussed this. Okay, Nara? So understood? So today what we have discussed is, so what are the questions we get in this chapter, what are the required formulas, and for solving the numericals of NCERT, so what we needed extra information, that we have discussed. In the next class, so we will complete that only 8 questions are there, that 8 numericals of exercise questions will complete in the next class. Okay, Nara? So thank you.